What's good, Chiefs Kingdom, and welcome back to the Water Boys channel. As today, we're going to be diving into wide receivers. We had a rumor that came out. I kind of want to dive in and address it. But before we do, please be sure to also check out my 2-round NFL mock draft, Kansas City Chief edition. I really do like that video. I want to get your guys' take. Let me know who you guys were interested. Also, please be sure to subscribe to the channel because I will keep you up to date on anything Kansas City Chiefs related that you do not want to miss out on. But without further ado, let's jump into this video. So, waking up this morning, that's when most news seems to break before you have a good night rest, and then you wake up, you either get NFL news regarding your favorite team, and it seems like every time with Kansas City, it always happens bright and early, and it was rumor mills galore starting right away, and the rumor came from Deanna Rossini, and I'll just go off the tweet, which says, ESPN Deanna Rossini reported SportsCenter this morning that the Chiefs are actively making phone calls to try and trade for another top-end wide receiver. Well, what does that mean? Now, that can mean a lot of things, honestly. That can mean maybe they're just taking calls to see who's available, maybe not making any trade offers, or they might have legit conversations for guys they want, and they might be in negotiation stages. How do I feel about that? I'm kind of indifferent with it. I've mentioned before, and if you haven't checked it out, my 2-round NFL mock draft, I would want to go with just drafting 2 guys and build your team. You have one guy on a 5-year contract and the other in the second round, a 4-year contract, and then just build that repertoire. But also, too, I wouldn't be angry if they got a high-end receiver either. It's kind of like pick your poison type of thing on how you want to address this free agency. So why am I here today? I created a top 5 wide receivers that I think Kansas City would be interested in around the whole National Football League. So we will dive into it. But before I do dive into it, again, I want to make another note too, because you see it around social media a lot too. And I've even said it too, but I said it before reports came out, and it's, well, why would KC want to pay high dollar signs if they didn't want to pay Tyreek Hill high dollar signs? People, get that shit out your head, because that wasn't the case. KC offered reportedly almost $24 million a year to Tyreek. That's crazy amount of money. So they were willing to put that position at $24 million a year. Just think about that. Tyreek just broke the bank. Yeah, he broke what KC didn't want to pay, but at the end of the day, they still were gonna pay him. So get that out of your language saying that KC wasn't gonna pay a receiver that money, because they were. So that's why I could see them making this trade, or they can address it in the draft. But to say it makes no sense for KC to do this when they could have paid Tyreek, they made him an offer. He just wanted to break the bank and wanted to go to Miami because that's where he's from. Not where he's from, but that's where he lives in the offseason, and that's where his family resides. So KC did good by his wishes. But with that too, let's jump right into the list. And at number 5, it's going to be a guy who doesn't cost too much money, and also too, maybe it's why it's holding up a trade already in the makings. I am going to bring up Kadarius Toney. Now, we knew what he was in college. He is athletic. He is a playmaker. He can go all around the field. Not saying he's going to be a Tyreek Hill replacement, but good Lord, him on the field, he brings that same type of dynamic asset that you want. And what do I mean when he said he could already hold up trade talks? Maybe KC's trying to do a package deal. We've already heard rumors, and it already seems like it might happen, of a James Bradbury to come to Kansas City. Maybe KC's trying to put them both together and try to work out this big blockbuster deal. I don't know, but if it's out there and if KC's talking around the league with top wide receiver trade market, you got to think it's in the discussion. I think Kadarius Toney, he's an interesting take for me, and that's why I have him at number 5. And unlikely, but it could be likely. It's just in my interest because I don't know how his game translates to the NFL. He has had some good games in his rookie year, but also too, he's been very absent. He's also had some injuries. We have to see how it goes throughout the year, throughout his career. But 2, I mean, you take over his rookie contract and you basically hold his rights until he needs a new deal. So that's also a huge positive, unlike the other guys I'm going to bring up. So it's interesting. I just, compared to the other guys, I don't know the factor and that immediate impact he might have. But the upside and the potential is huge. But let me jump into number 4. Brandin Cooks. Now, a lot of people may not like the name. A lot of people may be like, oh, that's an old, savvy veteran. That's right. And no matter where he goes, besides 1 year when he got injured, and even at that he was on a good pace, he puts up over 1,000 yards and puts in the touchdowns too, like 6+ every year. It don't matter who his quarterback is. So imagine if he had a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes. My only thing with this too is, what kind of market is Houston in? This is another one too where I would be interested in, because you're not going to be paying a high-end pick like a first round. I think this one would value around maybe a 4th or 5th, because that's what Brandin Cooks has been traded for in the past. I don't know why people don't want Brandin Cooks. I don't even know why managements don't want Brandin Cooks, because like I said, no matter where he goes, he performs. Is he a stellar number one? I wouldn't say stellar, but I do think he's a reliable number one. And now that could be up for debate here and there. But when you got a productive receiver who gives you yards year in and year out, especially with quarterbacks like a Davis Mill, and that's the thing I'm going to jump into too. Does Houston want to move away from a Brandin Cooks when maybe they're all sold on Davis Mills, and maybe they want to give him another year to build and things, because he was just a rookie and he had potential. Shit, he beat Justin Herbert in a duel. So let's see what he comes to along. But would they want to take his number one away? I don't know, and I wouldn't want to jump there that yet. But if KC makes the offer they couldn't refuse, I wouldn't be upset waking up to seeing Brandin Cooks got traded to KC, because Patrick Mahomes would be the best quarterback he ever played with, and we've already seen the numbers he's put up. So keep your eyes out for Brandin Cooks to KC, because I would love to have that savvy vet on my team. But let's jump to number 3 on the list. A lot of people would have him higher. Honestly, it's your take. My thing with it is, I just don't know how he fits as a true number one. I'm going to be diving into DK Metcalf. So, yes, we know DK Metcalf is an athletic freak. Like, whatever they say, he's 1% body fat. Well, he says he's 1% body fat. Like, even if he's not, like, he's chiseled down. He's 6'4", runs just almost as fast as Tyreek. My thing is with him, though, and it's coming out of the draft, too, is, like, is his mechanics there? Does the route tree completely there and things like that? Because even though he is proven to be great, there is times where he still disappears. And I think it also helps and is beneficial to him that he has a Tyler Lockett on the other side. What happens when he's solely the only number one guy? I believe he'll still perform, but I just don't know if he's my number one guy on my list. That's why I have him at number 3, because my other 2 guys, I think, will out-trump him in our offense any day of the week. And also, too, when we get to these top 3, when it becomes this, I highly doubt they'll be traded. But KC, they got the assets. They can make a trade happen. So I wouldn't shy away from it, because anything's possible. I mean, shit, Devontae Adams got traded. Tyreek Hill got traded. Any of these wide receivers are up for debate right now on who can be out of their teams. So DK Metcalf, I would love him on the team. I just want to feel as comfortable on the team as him being my sole number one guy compared to my other 2 guys that I have on the list. And let's jump into number 2. Number 2, I find highly unlikely, but hey, we got to talk about it, and I think it'd be interesting. Deebo Samuel. Now, I don't believe he's going anywhere from San Fran, but let me just sip on something. Let me just think about something. There has been contract disputes. They have been struggling back and forth. Kind of similar to what KC and Tyreek been doing. I'm just saying, if you want to get out of there, he might be able to have the chance. Now, again, we would say, why the hell would San Fran do that? Why the hell would KC let Tyreek leave? It could happen. And also, too, San Fran's going to be in the position years down where they got to pay guys like a Nick Bosa, again with the George Kittle and Trey Lance. They're going to be cap strapped like crazy. They already got a big contract from Trent Williams. It's, do you want to put that money in Deebo Samuel? No, regardless how great you find him. And also, too, in KC's aspect, too, they had a guy who the whole league thought was game changer and no one was like. Now, we hear that about Deebo Samuel as well, where nobody is like him in the league. Well, how do you replace that someone no one is like? You replace them with someone no one is like, if that makes sense. Like, no one will have another Deebo Samuel in this league. Yeah, it's not a Tyreek, but you bring a whole nother dimension to this offense that I would love to see, and I think he would love Andy Reid's offense. The only thing I have him at number 2 is because I don't know if San Fran's going to move on from him. I really don't. I don't know if it would be this offseason, maybe next. But it's going to be interesting to see if these contract disputes keep lingering through the offseason and if they get an offer they can't refuse, kind of like KC. You throw them a lot of picks, they may have to be like, well, this is the highest bid we might ever get for Deebo, so we might have to take it. It could happen. That's all I'm saying. Like I said, crazier things have happened this offseason. Now, we are diving into my number one addition that I want. And honestly, I might be able to see happen. And I've been seeing it around all social media also too, and that's why it clicked my head. But also too, I completely understand. Bring Scary Terry to KC. I can see him eating in this offense. Terry McLaurin would be so amazing in this offense. One, he has performed great since his rookie season without a true number one quarterback. And as well, the system around him, like, I don't want to say it's the greatest. Now, Washington, they got pieces, and we always hear, like, they're kind of like a Denver of the NFC. If they had a quarterback, they could be contenders. And I do agree with that. But they still don't have it even in Carson Wentz. So bringing a boy down here, I would give up a first-round pick. Here's the thing with Kansas City, too, that's so great. I might give up on 1 and 2. Like, I really would. Give them the Devontae Adams package. I would do that for Scary Terry. And the thing about KC is they would still have a 1 and 2. They got double in every round until it gets to the 5th round where they don't have no picks. So you're telling me you could give 1 pick in each round and still have a pick in each round? Yeah, I would do it. Especially for someone his caliber, especially someone who's still on a rookie deal. And also, too, I think he would accept a Tyreek Hill extension between that 22 to 24 million. He knows he's not in the 30 million range, but he is over 20 million, and I think that contract would suit him well. And I think he would, I don't know, I just envision him in this offense. I don't know what number because McCall Harden has 17. Maybe he wants to be number 1. We saw Jet McKinnon, how he'd be flying. I would like to see Scary Terry in number 1. And the thing with him, he's explosive. He a great contested catch type of guy. We've seen him make some amazing catches throughout his career with Washington. I think him and Mahomes will build a great repertoire that him and Hill could have had. Him and Hill had the best one, they say, ever with that connection. I don't think it skips a beat. I think if you look for a Tyreek replacement, people say you can't replace Tyreek. And that's because of the speed asset. But even though Scary Terry doesn't have his speed, he damn near close. And I think he's a better contested ball catcher too. I think he's a better possession receiver. I don't know. I'm not throwing any shade on Tyreek, but Scary Terry is a very good receiver that I think might replace Tyreek. You guys, I'm going to end this video out. You let me know how I did with these top 5 receivers that I think KC should target in these trade destinations, but also too, not even trade destinations. I'm kind of getting jumbled in my words. See what happens when I get excited? That's why I got to close out this video. But like I said, please do subscribe to the channel. I will be checking in with you guys daily probably because these KC rumors just keep flying off the shelves. So you know, I got to keep you guys up to date. And with that, please do like this video too. And I am checking out. You guys take care. Peace.